Won't believe Rio de Janeiro 5. The next morning call me Johan, awoke in Immaculata's arms. The events of the night a confusing blur. Steve's girlfriend, Pamela, was in the hospital due to a sugar-related issue, and Steve blamed me for it, seeing as the marshmallows were closest to me. Duke, in his usual calm demeanor, explained Pamela's condition, and Steve's hostility loomed over us like a storm on the horizon. Immaculata, always wise and perceptive, advised me to visit Pamela after Steve had cooled down. I agreed, acknowledging her counsel. Duke called for a meeting, addressing the pressing issue of how to handle Pamela's medical expenses. It was then that he decided it was time to initiate me into their unconventional business. As we piled into Duke's Charger, others went in Steve's used Renault Twingo. Duke remarked that the Twingo is very effective in flying under the radar, whereas the Charger makes a statement. I looked in the side view mirror and could see Steve back there, driving, seething with anger, resentment evident in his eyes. We arrived at a dimly lit garage where Duke unveiled the blueprints of our next venture, the bank heist. Steve's excitement was palpable, but Duke, ever the level-headed leader, reminded us to keep our emotions in check. In the midst of scurrying rats, Duke outlined the plan, and the weight of the impending criminal activity settled on my shoulders. The garage held the tools of our trade: coveralls, fake credentials, masks of former presidents, and shovels. I couldn't help but feel a pang of regret for being a competent surfer, as it led me into this perilous situation. Immaculata's gaze bore into me as she questioned my resolve. "Cowboy, you up for this?" Her eyes held a mixture of concern and expectation. I took a deep breath, the ocean breeze lingering in the air, and nodded in reluctant affirmation. The path ahead was uncertain, and as I donned the coveralls and prepared to join my newfound familia in their criminal ventures, the waves of doubt crashed over me like the relentless surf on the shore. Duke, with his charismatic yet authoritative presence, spoke. "This is it, familia. We've got one shot at this, and we're not going to mess it up. Johan, you're with us now, and you better be ready." As Duke went on explaining the plan, Steve couldn't hide his jealousy. He eyed me with a mixture of resentment and suspicion, the rivalry between us brewing beneath the surface. Our previous beach brawl was a testament to the tension that existed, and it was clear that Steve was itching for a rematch. Immaculata took me aside, her hair falling next to my ears, and whispered, "If Steve has a shovel, for digging, don't dig alone with him." I nodded as I knew what she meant. About then, Steve looked up from the blueprint, and for that moment, we locked eyes, and he was thinking the same. Immaculata patted me on the back as she strutted back to the group. "I'm sure you got this," she said. Next, Duke looked up from the blueprint like he knew what Steve was planning on doing to me with the shovel. Somehow I felt warm, thinking that Duke was like a big brother watching over me. Amidst the tension in the dimly lit garage, as we prepared for our unconventional venture, I couldn't help but attempt to lighten the mood. Why do Rio de Janeiro's beaches never get lonely? Everyone looked up from the blueprint, awaiting my answer. Because they always have a wave of visitors. Duke raised an eyebrow, intrigued despite himself. "A wave? Oh, now I get it." A few chuckles broke the tension in the room, and even Steve cracked a reluctant smile. Duke shook his head with a smirk. "All right, Johan, you've got jokes. Let's hope our plan is as smooth as your punchlines." In that moment, the shared laughter provided a brief respite from the gravity of our situation. A reminder that even in the world of surfing gangs and creative criminal ventures, a good joke could still find its place. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.